If I die while I'm in another country, how's my family going to get my body back to the United States? This is a very important question that has a very specific answer, which in real time can be very frustrating for your family as well as extremely expensive. These are all things, of course, that we should consider when we're traveling abroad, but obviously it's really low down on the checklist because we're going to go to the other country, have a good time, and come back home, not a problem. This is really, really important because for those of you paying attention to the World Cup, may have heard, of course, about the journalist Grant Wahl, who died during the quarterfinals last week. He was only 48 years old. He was there on an important job assignment to cover the World Cup, and unfortunately will not be coming home alive. His family is going through a process right now that many other families unfortunately have gone through that is extremely frustrating and expensive. And I want to provide a little bit of clarity so you understand some of the issues at hand and you know some of the things that you can do in advance to, of course, not prevent your death, but if you do die overseas or in a faraway place or even in another state, that it is not something that's going to exacerbate the grief of your loss to your family. So let's just take a look at some of the challenges through the lens of the Wall family as they're going to be and going through this right now. If this were you or I in Qatar and we've passed away, what happens next? All you need to do is go to the U.S. Embassy website to really read in detail what the steps are. It's not a secret, but we just need to know where to look. And if we're at that website, and you can go there by going to qa.usembassy.gov /death of a U.S. citizen, and you'll pull up the same webpage. And it details that there are certain regulations in order to transport a body back to the U.S. One being that the remains need to be cremated or embalmed. And really, when coming from Qatar, it has to be embalmed because they don't allow cremation in that country, which is going to pose some challenges because, number one, it's going to be expensive because embalming requires a casket. That's going to be $1,500 right there. In addition, it's going to be more expensive to transport your body through air freight, through an airplane service like Qatar Airlines or Turkish Airlines, which it's going to cost about between $4,000 and $6,000 just to transport via the airline. And lastly, to receive in the United States and you're receiving the casket at a mortuary is going to cost another $3,000 at least. Never mind that your religion may have some prohibitions to embalming. For example, the Jewish faith has some prohibitions to embalming, as does the Muslim faith. So there can be some challenges just from a religious perspective in not really having an option in order to transport your body. The cost is something that's going to be significant, as mentioned. Now, those are some conservative rates when I'm talking about. Some other resources you look at say it could be as much as $10,000 to $20,000. One thing that you can do to mitigate these issues is have a plan when you are going to travel abroad or going to travel to a different state or even Hawaii, because these are things that could happen. Personally, I actually sadly watched a gentleman pass away on a beach in Hawaii several years ago, and likely on vacation. I don't know if he lived there or if he was on vacation, but imagine if he was on vacation in paradise, he dies, and his family's from the mainland. They need to transport the body. That's just like going from a foreign country back to the mainland. Some states also have different rules about how a body can leave the state, cross state lines, just as other states have rules in which how they receive a body coming in. So there's lots of different things to consider. And one thing you can do, of course, is research before you leave some of the rules so that you know. Sounds morbid. We like to enjoy the trips that we're planning. I'm sure Grant Wahl was planning to enjoy his trip to the World Cup, just like we all are enjoying these wonderful trips where we go with our families or sometimes ourselves. But we also have to plan just in case they don't end well. And so what can we do to help our family? Well, make sure you have legal documents together that empower other people to be executors of your person so that they can take charge. Your documents are in order, that you have copies of your passport. The people that are going to be carrying out those duties of transporting you have copies of that information. That you also may consider purchasing a insurance plan for the cover the costs of your transportation of your body. There are insurance plans out there. They're very approachable and inexpensive, less than $1,000 for life. If you purchase these policies, anytime that you travel to another state or overseas, would cover the cost of transportation of your bodily remains back home to the U.S. And all you need to do is contact a local mortuary and get more information. Most of them will carry insurance plans like this. I know the group that runs Fairhaven and Pacific View cemeteries, they offer these types of insurance plans. Great things to have whenever you're going to travel. And if you're going internationally, check with the U.S. Embassy to find out what those rules are, and leave those instructions with loved ones that are back home, of course, and those that you may be traveling with should something happen, so that they have the step-by-step process. It's going to be really sad, obviously, if you pass away anytime, and certainly if you're on a family vacation or on a trip of your dreams, but it will also be less burdensome if your family knows the different steps they can take, and you have mitigated the challenge because you put the right planning tools in place, including a way in which to cover the costs. So that's our spotlight for this week. Sad because we remember the wonderful journalist that Grant Wahl was, and the impact they had on soccer, on U.S. football internationally, and the love he helped bring of soccer to the United States. And that while we're sad that he passed away, we rest in the happiness that he did pass away doing what he loved best. So may we all have the same fate in passing away doing what we love best, and that we know and have the knowledge and peace of mind that we've done everything that we could to protect our loved ones and families. Hopefully I provided you with some really helpful information, some tips, some strategies on this spotlight, and look forward to bringing you more. And until the next time, be well.